everyone, my name is Julia and today we will be going through an at-home Yin Yoga practice for the 7 chakras. And for this class you might use a blanket or you might grab a pillow to have nearby, because in Yin we like to use props so that we can feel supported in the poses. So for this class we will be going through the functions of each of the 7 chakras and the colors, sounds, and affirmations associated with each of them. And if you aren't sure what the chakras are or what they do, then you might go back to my video where I explain that. We'll just start today in a seated position. If cross-legged doesn't feel good for you, then maybe your legs just come out long. Or maybe you sit in a chair, that would be fine too. And just begin by closing the eyes, letting the shoulders fall down away from the ears towards the earth, feeling your 2 sit bones root down into the earth, and beginning to breathe. In Yin Yoga, we might just use a soft breath, not forcing anything, but still mindful, still conscious of everything that's happening within us. So we begin at the first chakra, which is Muladhara. It's at the base of the spine. The first chakra vibrates to the color red. So imagining that color red. The way that color works is that it is vibrations of light reflecting off of a surface. Or as interpret it as color. But really what it is just light. It's just a vibration. Grounding here. The first chakra is all about earth and stability and survival needs. Your affirmations are: I feel deeply rooted. I feel safe and secure. I have a right to be here. My body is the home of my spirit. The seed sound of the first chakra is Lam. So maybe you repeat that in the mind as a mantra. Mantra means instrument of the mind. It's a meditation tool that helps us focus and stay present. And so maybe you repeat Lam over and over in the mind. Or maybe you repeat it out loud to yourself. Feeling safe and secure. Feeling the weight of gravity bringing you to earth, reminding you that you belong here. You have the right to be here. The first chakra is about preserving our sense of self, our physical self. Fear is the demon that keeps us from finding balance in the first chakra. With every exhale, releasing fear, releasing worry, releasing anxiety. Allowing yourself to be in this moment. Relinquishing the need to control. Everything you need is already within you. Feeling the weight of that first chakra at the base of our spine, anchoring us down to the earth. And so we spend extra time here grounding because this is our foundation for which all the other chakras build upon. And if we can't build a solid foundation, then the rest will be unbalanced. So this is our starting point. Your body and you are the testing grounds of truth. Some people might be skeptical about the chakras at first because it's a new idea, something that we've never really experienced. And although there's scientific research out there that you can find if you're interested, but I think that to experience the effect of the chakras in your body not only would be better proof, but would be much more valuable. If we can notice imbalance, that means that we're already working towards balance. Being completely still, completely solid and unmoving for the next 5 breaths. Slowly moving on to the second chakra, we can begin to plant the soles of the feet onto the earth. And then maybe we just wrap the arms around the knees and hug it in, curling the spine, and then lifting the chest. We'll take boat pose. For boat pose, lifting the feet, maybe keeping the toes grounded, but maybe the shins become parallel-ish to the ground. And we balance on those sit bones. We begin to build a little bit of heat, just a little bit, to get that sense of effort. And then exhale, bringing the soles of the feet together for butterfly Baddha Konasana, and then maybe gently folding into it. The second chakra is all about finding balance between effort and ease, between sacred dualities. Inhale to come back up to this boat pose, flowing right into it, moving in a way that is fluid and watery. And then exhaling back into butterfly. The element of the second chakra is water, coming back into boat pose. And so we move in that way that water moves, coming back into butterfly. Going with the flow and being able to adapt like water, taking the shape of whatever container we're in and having the ability to change. Flowing through one more time. through boat pose, and then butterfly. So this time when we get to butterfly, you might grab your blanket or pillows and just create a sort of bolster for the chest to lean onto. You might get creative with your props and use different items that you have around, maybe in your living room, and just folding over those items, stacking them as high as you need to, so that when we settle into this pose, the props can hold the pose for us, and then we can just focus on softening into that shape, exactly like water. And then once you get there, just really resting, closing the eyes. Take your time to settle in, as we'll be here for about 7 minutes. As we close our eyes, imagining the color orange. The brightness of orange. That playfulness of orange. The second chakra is about our emotional identity. Whereas the first was all about the physical body, now we've moved on to more complex things that are happening. Noticing what thoughts come up into the mind. Our hips act as storage bins for emotions, so when we work this second chakra and open up the hips, you may notice that different emotions begin to release or come to the surface. Maybe not at first, but maybe the longer that we find stillness in this pose, the more things begin to rise to the surface. Knowing that that's okay. You're allowed to feel those things. The second chakra is all about not only our own emotions, but being able to connect to other people's emotions, to feel empathy. Sometimes taking on the feeling that other people have can be overwhelming. But it's part of creating a connection. And this practice of yoga is all about connection. And the second chakra is about connection. So the first chakra, it was just you. You were one point, one dot. Now we've come to the second chakra and there are suddenly two dots. Where those two dots connect is a line. And then as more dots create more connections, more people, all those lines connect to create a sort of web. Imagining that web, imagining the color orange, feeling that connection. And our seed sound is VUM. And so maybe you repeat VUM in the mind, maybe you say it repeatedly out loud. Feeling the vibration of that sound. Feeling the vibration of the color orange. The demon of the second chakra is guilt. And when we have imbalance happening in the second chakra, it might manifest as an addiction. affirmations here are, I forgive myself. My body is sacred. I am open to closeness. Continuing to breathe here. Notice how the pose changes the longer we sit with it. How maybe the sensation changes. In yin, it might feel like a sort of dull or achiness. But if it ever becomes something more than that, a sort of compression or shooting pain, always feel free to ease out of the pose. And if you notice that maybe your feet or legs begin to fall asleep, that also is an indicator that maybe we should come out of the pose. Listening to your body. Begin to slowly come up out of this pose. Rising up, moving your props out of the way. So our next pose for the third chakra is going to be thread the needle. So we'll begin to move into a position of all fours. When you get there, just stacking the shoulders above the wrists, the hips above the knees, and we'll go ahead and lift the right hand up to the sky, opening up the heart. And on an exhale, thread the needle. So we lower the right shoulder down to the mat or down to the ground, and we lower the right temple down as well. And then we can decide to either keep this left hand planted on the ground, or we can wrap it around our lower back. And since we'll be here for a few minutes, you might decide to roll up some blankets or use a pillow between the knees, just for some more support. When you get there, settling in. The third chakra governs our willpower and our autonomy. It's the center of our self-esteem. The color is yellow. And the seed sound is rum. Maybe you use that as a mantra as we imagine the color yellow behind our closed eyes. And we rotate through the waist here, so the third chakra is the solar plexus, and it's right about at the waist, right above the belly button. So twisting there to activate that area. Stacking the shoulders above one another. And breathing here. Softening into the areas that we're stretching, so relaxing into the shoulders, but keeping the hips lifted. The element of the third chakra is fire. Thinking about that heat that we build in our core. And that fire can also be translated as willpower. That fire within, that sort of self-discipline. We work on our self-esteem because how we treat ourselves is the truth of how we treat others. It's sort of the importance of finding balance in this third chakra. Otherwise, the ego gets in the way and we feel that we need to have power over other people or other things in our life that we really shouldn't be able to control or manipulate. Many people think that the third chakra is where we are as a society right now. When the third chakra is out of balance or has a blockage, if it's non-excessive, if it's a depletion of energy there, it can take the form of low self-esteem. Whereas if you have too much energy there, it might look like greed. When you're ready, you can plant the left hand if it's not already planted. We'll go ahead and lift up out of here. Maybe you lift that right hand back up to the sky. Open it back up. And then planting that right hand back down, let's take 1 or 2 cat-cows here. Inhale to lift the chin, lift the tailbone. Exhale to round the spine, hug the belly button. Activate the core. We'll just take 2 more of these. Coming back to center, and then we'll do the other side. So for this, inhale to lift the left hand up to the sky. Peeling the heart open. And then exhale to thread the needle. Left arm drops down to the mat. Left temple drops down to the earth. And then the option to wrap that right arm around the low back or to keep it exactly where it is. So your affirmations here are, I stand up for myself. I am proud of my achievements. I am courageous. I am worthy of love, kindness, and respect. My confidence inspires people. I have the right to act. Continuing to imagine the color yellow. Focusing on this third chakra, right there in the center. Right in the center of the whole body. When you're ready, planting the right hand. Slowly inhale to rise, lifting the left hand all the way up to the sky. And then exhaling to plant it back down to the earth. Maybe you take 1 or 2 cat-cows, ironing everything out. Sending the breath to that third chakra to build the heat from within. The heat is what brings transformation. And our next pose will be either Sphinx or Seal pose, depending on how deep you would like to go into your body today, into this heart opener. So moving into a position of all fours, getting our pillow ready in front of us, and then lowering onto the belly. And so if you have a wall or a couch behind you that you would like to rest your shins against, you can. Otherwise, feel free to just let your legs be long. All right? So taking this pose in whatever way you prefer. And so we'll start by coming onto the forearms, reaching up through the crown of the head. And so this is Sphinx pose, where the fingers are spread wide. We're lifting through the chest. And then this is where you might grab a pillow or a blanket to rest the chest onto, so that you don't have to work as hard to hold yourself up, and rather you can just focus more on opening up the heart here. If you would like more sensation, then you might lift the elbows. You might stack a couple more pillows up in front of you to rest the chest on for a deeper heart opener, a deeper back bend. All right? And then closing the eyes when we get there. And so the fourth chakra, Anahata, the color is green. The seed sound is yum. Imagining the color green, feeling the vibration of the sound, yum. Repeating it in the mind or out loud to yourself. Of course, the fourth chakra, the heart chakra, is all about love. About manifesting not only a self-love, but also a universal love. Finding a sense of self-acceptance. Your affirmations are, I love myself. I am open to love and kindness. I give and receive love freely. The element is air. The energy state is gas. And there's really something quite interesting that happens when we get to the fourth chakra. The 3 that we've gone over before this were all very physical, things existing that we can see or feel tangibly, like the earth beneath us, the solidity of it, water, the fluidity. We can feel those things. We can feel the heat of fire. We can see it. We can trust that they're there. But once we get to the fourth chakra, it becomes a bit more abstract. Gas is something that we're aware of, maybe not all the time, but we can't necessarily see it, and we can't always feel it. And so we're moving towards the realm of the divine. Less physical, less limiting. And the heart chakra is really that bridge. And we sort of have to travel quite far to get there. The first 3 chakras are relatively close to one another, but suddenly when we get to the fourth, there's this gap. So the fourth chakra is really that bridge where we start moving into other realms, higher levels of consciousness. breathing into that fourth chakra, creating a lot of space there and filling that space with love. This is where we learn to face every situation with a sense of compassion. We're going beyond the limitations of the ego. We're past that now. When you're ready, let's begin to bring ourselves up from this. And we'll come to maybe hero's pose, where we sit on the knees, or maybe we come back to a seated position with the legs crossed. And so we're moving on to the fifth chakra, which is the throat chakra. And for this, we're just gonna kind of roll the head and neck. So maybe we just create these half circles. Just bringing the neck forward and circling it over. Letting the back of the neck be long. Really releasing the shoulders down away from the ears to increase that sensation. And then moving the head back up and tilting the chin towards the sky, allowing the head to kind of just rotate in these half circles, but now tilted back. Bringing the head back through center. Go ahead and just let the right ear fall down towards the right shoulder, and the right hand will come above the right ear. The left fingertips might walk outside of you and then back behind you to increase that stretch here in the throat chakra. The color is blue. The seed sound is hum. Filling yourself with the color blue, the vibration of that color, the vibration of the sound, hum. This chakra is all about our self-expression, our ability to communicate clearly. It's about our creative identity. We were put here on this earth in order to express in a way that no one else ever has or ever could. We find that creativity here in the throat. Our rights are to be heard, to speak and to be heard. Walking the left fingertips back to the body, tilting the head back through center, and then letting the left ear fall towards the left shoulder. The right hand placed above, the left hand placed above the left ear. The right fingertips walking out from our body and then maybe back behind us. Breathing into this right side of the throat space. The element of this chakra is sound, vibration, ether. So again, we're moving towards a realm of the non-physical. The things that you can only really sense if you're attuned to them. Her affirmations are, I stand up for myself. I have a right to speak my truth. And I say what I need to say. When you're ready, tilting the head back through center, bringing the right arm back next to your side. You can roll out the shoulders here if that feels good. And then we'll begin to move on to the next chakra, which is the 6th chakra. And for this, we will take child's pose. So you might start in hands and knees, bringing the big toes together and separating the knees. The arms can either be by your sides or long in front of you. And then you might put a pillow underneath the body, or perhaps you take a blanket, roll it up and put it either under the knees or between the knees for the sit bones to rest on if they don't rest comfortably on the heels. All right, so stacking up your props in any way. And then resting the space between the eyebrows down against the ground. Whatever surface that you would like to rest it on, whether it's a prop or a mat. All right, so just resting that third eye down to the earth. And then maybe you move the head side to side to massage into that third eye. The 6th chakra. It's our center of intuition. It's our inner guide, our inner guru, our inner wisdom. The color is indigo. The seed sound is Om. Filling yourself with the color indigo, filling yourself with the seed sound Om. This chakra is about light and color and seeing. It's clairvoyance. It's when you have that gut feeling that you know that something is going to happen or that something is off. And trusting that gut feeling. The moment that we doubt our intuition is the moment that it stops working. Your affirmations are, I trust my intuition. I trust my gut. My body knows what it needs. I am in touch with my inner guide. I am in touch with my inner wisdom. I strengthen my intuition by never doubting it or questioning it. I have the right to see. Gently rising up out of this, and you guys, our last pose is going to be Shavasana. So if you would like to just lie flat on your back for this, and we'll go through the crown chakra. I'm going to stay seated so that everyone can hear me in this video, but go ahead and just lie down on your back. Maybe you put a pillow underneath the knees. Maybe you cover yourself with a blanket. Closing the eyes and just settling in. And so the 7th chakra is the crown chakra. It's our center of thought, information, knowing, understanding. And it's all about meditation. The color is purple. And when we get to this point, there really is no seed sound. But if you feel like you need a mantra, then you can continue with Om. The element is thought, and the energy state is consciousness. So this is where we have moved beyond all physical and into the realm of the divine. And we feel this sense of connection to the universe. We connect to something greater, whatever that means to you, something higher than we are. The demon of the crown chakra is attachment. Letting go of all physical attachments to blur the distinctions where you begin and end. Your affirmations are: I am part of the divine. I listen to and trust the wisdom of the universe. When we reach the seventh chakra, it results in bliss. When you connect to something bigger, you connect to yourself. You begin to realize that we are all made up of the same exact particles, the same stardust. We come back home to our soul. We remember our power. We remember our light. When you're ready, slowly awaken from whatever position that you're in, moving gently, no hurry, no rush, just tending to the present moment. Coming to a seated position, bringing your hands to heart center, bowing the chin. The light in me sees the light that shines in all of you, and where those lights meet is where we find connection, and that connection is the meaning of the word yoga. Thank you for sharing this at home Yin Yoga for the chakras with me today. Namaste.